Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to talk about JavaScript objects. So in JavaScript, almost everything is an object. We are talking our strings could be objects, our numbers could be objects, our arrays, and all that stuff. If you really grasp the concept of objects, you can really understand your JavaScript. So we'll start this off by first covering how to create an object using object literals. We'll talk about how to use the this keyword. And lastly, we'll talk about how to use the new keyword to create an object. So follow me along as we dive in. Before we can create our first JavaScript object, let us define what an object is. An object is a collection of named values. So try to think of a named value as either being a variable or a function within an object. When you create a variable within an object, it is known as a property. So let us create an object to demonstrate all this. You create an object in the same exact way you create a variable. So we'll say const. We'll give this object a name. We are creating a person. Then when assigning value to an object, we add curly braces. And in between those curly braces is where we add our properties. So our properties could be of any data type. They could either be a string, a number, a boolean, or whatever data type you choose. So this person will have a name, and their name will be a string. We'll call them John Doe. Then they could have an age, which will be a number, 23. They could also have a marital status. Are you married? Which will be a boolean, say false because they're not married. And they could have some emails, which would be an array. For example, john@gmail.com or john@yahoo.com. Save that, and we have an object. So whenever we want to access a property of an object, we have to type the name of the object. We add a dot, and then we type the name of the property we want to access. For example, their name. So let's just put this into the console, see what result we'll get. So we say the name of the object and the name of the property. We save that. And when we look in our console, we get John Doe. Quick correction here. This is supposed to be gmail.com. As I mentioned earlier, an object can also have functions attached to them. A function that is attached to an object is known as a method. So try to think of a method as an action which an object can perform. So for example, this person can exercise. So let's create an exercise function. Say function, add our parentheses and our curly braces, and then let's just pass a message to the console that says now lifting heavy weights. Save that. And when we want to access a function within an object, in the same way we say person, and then we type the function that we want to access, which is exercise. And when we save that, we can see within our console, we get now lifting heavy weights. Let's take a moment to look at the this keyword. So let's just delete that, and let's pass this to our console. This. Save that. And when we come to our console here, we can see we receive an object called window. So within this window object, we have a number of methods that can be used within the browser. So what happens here is whenever you create a function, let's say you created a function and we called our function do something. We add our curly braces like that, and we had some operation our function was performing. What happens is that our function is gotten and it's added to our window object. But when we want to call our function, we don't say window.do something, which we could do, window.do something. Instead, we just say do something because it means the exact same thing. Next, let's try to see what happens if this is called within an object we created. So I'll first delete this part. Let's add that. And next, let's create another method. We'll call this method say my name. So I'll say name. We'll say function because this is a method. Add our curly braces. Then we'll pass within our console this. And then when we call this particular function, so let's call it underneath this. In the same way that we called functions within objects we created, we first call our object, then our function, say name, we save that. And within our console, we receive our current object. So if we wanted to access a particular property of an object within a function, which is in that object, we say this, then we add a dot, then we add the property we wanted to access. For example, say name should give us the name. So when we call this method here, we get John Doe. So this is given a meaning whenever a method is invoked. So if you wanted to know what this in this particular case means, you look at where it's invoked. So it's invoked here, where you have say name being called, and then dot. Then if you look on the left side of the dot, you see person. So this, in this case, means person. And you can also see in a function we created outside our object, we do not have a dot this side. So automatically we know that this function is within our window object. Another way in which we can create objects is by using the new keyword. So I'll just delete all this. And then if you wanted to create an object, you could say const, give the object a name, we'll call it person again, and equal to, then we say new object. And we add our parentheses and our semicolon and save that. So we have created an object. To add our properties to this object, we could say person.name is equal to John Doe. We add our semicolon. And we could also give it this person an age. Person.age be 23. You could say person dot married, which would be equal to false. And we could add the rest of our properties in the same manner shown. That's all I had for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave me a like and share this video to somebody who might like it. And also subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. It really helps support this channel. I'll see you guys in the next video.